Hey people, I didn't do a lot of video on canning, and well, I don't can, but on freezing produce from the garden this summer because there's tons of those videos online. Now the one thing that they always say you can't freeze is potatoes because they turn black. Yet there's some people on YouTube who freeze potatoes, and unfortunately they don't show you what the result looks like when they take it out of the freezer. So you know, that's when I come in and do a video that actually shows what I want to see that I can't find that other people did. So it's kind of tough to see it through the bag, but I froze 5 bags of these, I guess in mid-July. I did it out on the camper when it was too hot to live in the house. And I checked it the first night, and yeah, it did turn brown. I think I just ripped my bag. So we get a better look at it this way, but it's still pretty frozen. As you can see right here, it seems like it's the parts that touch the plastic that's the worst. Right along here, and then this part here actually looks pretty good. And then some blackness, and then some blackness there on the corner, and then some good part here where there's an indent. So I'm going to let these thaw out, and I'll bring you back when I can separate them, and we'll see if they're in any condition to use. You were only gone for a few seconds. I put them in cool water and they started coming apart very quickly. They're not thawed out yet, of course. They're just coming apart very easily. So I'll just keep doing this, and I'm going to sort them while they're still frozen. I'll spread out the good ones on a cutting board, and I'll put the brown ones to the side like that one. See, I want to see if they're going to be black all the way through, and this one looks like it's probably not going to be usable, but I mean, I don't know that they become poisonous or anything. Now this one seems to be black only on the outside. The inside looks pretty good. So maybe I'll just have to kind of like scrape off the outside. And that whole wad is pretty much separated already. It comes apart really fast. So that's definitely a good sign. It means you don't have to let them thaw out overnight or something if you want to use them. If they turn out to be usable, you can probably put them on a dry towel and fry them up in no time. Now this one looks pretty decent on the inside and just a few black spots on the outside. But then again, potatoes always turn color if you leave them. So it's possible I didn't get them in the freezer fast enough. I mean, there's possibilities here. So, okay, I'll separate those out onto another plate and see if we can get rid of the glare up here, but I doubt it. So anyway, catch you in a little while. Okay, most of them went into the compost. The ones in the green bowl there are the ones that I might have the nerve to eat. But let me show you what happens when you put a knife to it. I mean, I have them drained already, and they just kind of like gush water, and I think they're really disgusting. Look at that. What do you do with that? See the water squirted out. I don't know if you saw that on the camera, but and it's still brown around the edges. Now I'm not saying that you can't freeze potatoes. I'm saying that in my experience, this is something I won't be trying again. Maybe you can add lemon juice to it as you're doing it, or I don't know. Maybe there's a way. If there is a way, I couldn't find it on YouTube, and I haven't come up with it on my own. And the only reason I froze these was because I absolutely had too many, either to give away or to, you know, to try and process and eat, and I ate a ton of them. Every morning I had potato and sausage for breakfast, and I finally used up what I had without any getting wasted, but the other 4 bags I don't think are going to get used, because even if I can get all the water out of these, it's going to be pretty disgusting. I don't know this. Certainly can't put them in bacon fat the way they are. They'll spit water and grease all over the house. So that's all I'm going to get. That would be a portion, I guess, but look at that. It doesn't cut like a potato at all. It's kind of like rubbery, and I mean, just not very appetizing. Maybe it's a good way to go on a diet. Stop eating potatoes, water coming out, and that one's kind of okay. This one. So this composter wasn't full when I started, but you see that most of what was there went in, and that's the last of them. So personally, from my experience, I call freezing potatoes a bust. But certainly wouldn't want to waste a pile of paper towels trying to dry that, and if you use a regular towel, you have to wash it, and it's just not worth it unless you absolutely have no choice but to freeze them. I would personally recommend not freezing them. Give them away, eat them, do something with them. But I figured the right thing to do is see it through to the end. So here they are. I spread them out to kind of let them dry, single layer, and they only spit out that much liquid in, I don't know, a half hour or so. So I'm gonna put them in the pan and see if they spit all over the kitchen. Take my chances. Let's get you set up here. Well, bacon fat. Bacon fat's best for potatoes, and probably the healthiest thing you could use anyway compared to vegetable oil or something that would like to kill you. Just keep, when you do these things, just keep the black stuff out, you know. If you save your bacon fat, which you should, don't get the black stuff in there. That's really not tasty. Not tasty at all. This is almost empty, but we'll see. Stick it in the microwave maybe and get the rest of it out. Low heat. Cast iron pan. Maybe the moisture will evaporate out of them, I hope. We'll see. Maybe I need a little more heat. The interesting thing is, now that they've been blanched the first time, they're not turning brown here. I was afraid I wouldn't be able to let them sit long enough to drain, but it's not a problem. They're staying the same way they were when I first sliced them. I'm going to still have a little black. I'm sure it's not harmful, so I'm not going to kill myself if I end up eating them. And once I go through all this trouble, I probably will end up eating them. So we'll see if low heat is best. If you have any experience with this, by all means leave a comment. Save me and other people the hassle of experimenting. So we'll let them sit. It's 10:57. Give them a few minutes. I'll leave them there just like that and bring you back in a little while. Okay, from 10:57 to 11:14, so we did 15. This one's starting to brown here. This one is browning. I hope I caught them before they feel pretty dried out and crisp on that side. None of them turned brown, but this is the benefit of cooking with cast iron. A thick bottom pan, any thick bottom pan would be good. So that one's a little bit further gone than I'd prefer. This one's pretty okay. Alright, so far so good. I guess I'm going to eat them and see how they go. So let's get them fixed up here. Gotta have a little salt. My blood pressure was 116/76, which is perfect, so that salt's not going to hurt me. little pepper, a little garlic, and a sausage patty. I'm sure I've eaten worse no matter how it turns out. So they used to have the thing called trail burgers, which was like dehydrated something or other 40 years ago when they first started coming out with that kind of food for hiking. And it was so disgusting. My hiking buddy from back then still talks about how disgusting trail burgers were, but it's all we had on a 6-day hike. We got to a lean-to on the way out. Somebody had left some oxtail soup, Noah oxtail soup in a box. Oh God, that was so wonderful compared to trail burgers. And now, pop an egg in the middle. And a little cheese. Comes from Aldi's, 2-pound bag for less than $6. One of the good things about having a freezer where you can stock up on these kind of things. Cover on there, turn the heat off, even though it was low heat. Now, you won't see many guys who cook on YouTube without putting some of this on. It's in the Chinese food section rather than in the hot sauce section, so they try to hide it for some reason. Most of the labels in Chinese too, but it's sriracha chilies. A little of that on there. And mix that sucker up. And we'll take you over to the counter first. Fortunately, the sun was coming out. We got 3-something inches of rain last night, which was normally would have caused a flood if the water table wasn't so low. And there we go. Sausage. Don't want to come out. potato in there. That one was excellent. Crispy on the outside and just right on the inside. The water boiled off in 15 minutes, and that one's good too. Okay, I'm not technically a prepper, but if the situation presents itself where you have absolutely more potatoes than you can use, you might want to try freezing some and put them in bigger packages so the ones on the inside don't turn black. And you might try spraying them with lemon juice before you put them in the freezer. After you put them in cold water, ice water, spray them with lemon juice to keep them from turning. At this point, I don't have any more that I wouldn't have to buy in the store, so I'm not going to do any more experiments with it. But if you do, by all means, come back and let us know how it turns out. Lemon juice does sound like a good way to go from here, because lemon juice does supposedly keep them from turning color. And like I say, once they sit to dry, to drain after they're blanched, they don't turn color. So let's see how it goes. Let us know how it happens, and thanks a lot for watching. See ya.